have to avoid toxic people. If you want to be in a state of peace and cultivate inner peace in your life, bro, and this goes for you women too, y'all have to avoid toxic people. You have to. It is imperative you avoid toxic people like the plague, because they will drain you. They will drain your energy. They will get you in situations that you are uncomfortable with being in. They will get you out of character, right? They'll go behind your back and talk some mess behind your back to other people. Tell me I'm lying. I know you chosen ones have experienced the same things. You experience these same toxic people that I've mentioned. The ones that lack accountability. The ones that want to play victim. The ones that want to complain all the time about why things are going wrong in their life. The ones that talk behind your back when you're not around to defend yourself, right? The ones that are just hostile towards you for no reason, right? It's because deep down, bro, you're rattling their demons. You got them worked up in a frenzy because they can't handle your light. And guess what? Toxic people, they can't handle your light. So, and then when you find yourself in a situation where you have to deal with people that are toxic, like for instance, your job, like you may have no choice in the matter. Like if you're at a job, you're working around toxic individuals, that's different. But the way I would deal with that is simply just tuning them out, right? Now, I'm not saying you can't stand up for yourself and you know, keep those people in check. You definitely want to keep people in check. If they start talking to you crazy and they start, you know, kind of saying some disrespectful things towards you, you definitely want to put them in their place. Not in a physical way. If it gets to that, if it gets to that point, you gotta do what you gotta do. But put them in check verbally. You know what I'm saying? Keep them in line, because you know the best way to keep somebody in line, bro, is to stand up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire, you know. But also staying silent, that's also an effective way to, you know, shut somebody up. Because some people just want to be entertained, right? Toxic people, they want to be entertained by you. They want you to rebuttal. They want you to react. 9 times out of 10, they're always looking for a reaction out of you so that they can get you out of character. Because when people can get a reaction out of you, that's another way for people to control you. You understand? When people can get a reaction out of you, that means they're able to control you. They have power. And that's what some people are just looking for. They want power. They want control. They want to know that I can get him to act like this when I say this. It's like a trigger. They know what button to press. They know how to trigger you. And then when they know how to trigger you, they will push that button, and that will just set you off. You cannot give them that power, guys. You cannot. You cannot give those people that power. So that's why sometimes, or most of the time, silence is the answer. Silence is an effective way to shut these people up, to keep them in line, to keep them in check. You don't react, guess what? You do it all the time to where it's like they say some things to you and you just don't react. You don't say nothing. You just keep yourself silent. You kind of just nod your head, look at them like, yeah, okay, bitch. You know, that, like, okay, you do nothing to get me out of line. You're not saying anything that's relevant. You know, like, you kind of just look down on them like they're a peasant. Like, you know, you say nothing of relevance. You're unimportant to my existence. Like, if you kind of look at them like in that way, bro, I guarantee you, like, they're gonna shut the fuck up and they're not gonna bother you ever again. Like, listen, sometimes you just have to be bougie with your presence. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta be a little bougie with your presence, man. To show people you know, you are not affected by their tactics. You're not affected by them. They don't faze you. You know? They don't faze you at the slightest. You know? It's almost like you just internally laugh at their little weak ass tactics to like get you out of line and to get you out of character. Like, it's laughable, man. It's comedy. When people try to get me out of character, they try to say things to like get me rattled up. It's funny to me, man. It's hilarious, you know. But that's how you gotta act towards toxic people. And I guarantee you, they won't bother you no more. They won't say shit to you because they know you're not the guy to mess with. Because you're not entertaining their BS. And when you don't entertain toxic people's BS, they're more likely to leave you alone. Now, if they continue to keep pressing you, even after you give them the silent treatment, even after you're just like, man, what you say don't rattle me. What you're saying is irrelevant. When you give them that attitude, they still try to press you. Okay, then maybe you gotta speak up and keep their ass in line verbally, right? And speak your mind and speak your piece, right? To kind of like give them that message to not fuck with you, right? But if that don't work and they looking to get a little froggy, a little jumpy and stuff, then hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? If you gotta get a little physical with the person, do what you gotta do. But I would just mostly, for the most part, just don't react at all. Just, you know, give them the silent treatment, because silence speaks volume, right? Silence has a way of, silence has a way of shutting people up and really leaving a stamp on your presence. Like, you're basically telling the person that what you say to me doesn't affect me at all. Your ways of how you're trying to get me rattled up and out of character, it doesn't affect me. My silence proves that. And I'm choosing not to say anything to you. It's not that I can't speak up for myself. I can do that easily. But I choose to give you the silent treatment, because that's what you deserve to get. You deserve the silent treatment. When you try to go off and disrespect me and throw shade my way, you deserve the silent treatment. Right? My silence speaks a lot more volume than if I were to say anything to you that would just further escalate the situation. And I've always managed to just stay silent and just let people feel my silence. Right? You just look at somebody dead in their face and say nothing. That's gonna make that person feel some type of way. It might make them feel guilty for even trying to test you. You know what I'm saying? It might make them feel like, man, I think I made a mistake by trying to get under this person's skin. I may have barked up the wrong tree here. You have to make them feel that way. Because when people just want a reaction out of you, they will try to test you. just to get a reaction. Some people would say things to me that they knew was like a trigger point, and it would get me triggered. It would cause a reaction out of me, right? But I soon realized, like, listen, that's all they really want out of me is a reaction. That's all they're looking to get. These people that are talking nonsense to me and being disrespectful and just saying hurtful things to me, I realize they don't really mean that shit. They just looking to get a reaction out of me. They're waiting to see how I'm going to respond to their words. And if I give them the power by reacting in a way that they expect, then that means they have control over me. They have control over how I react and what I say. That's going to get me all worked up. And so when they see that out of me, then that's just going to give them the courage and the more power to keep pressing that button, to keep on saying these things that trigger me even more, right? But I had to first learn this by reacting, by getting triggered, and soon figuring out, nah, they're just saying this stuff to get me triggered. It's just a test. That's all it is. This person just wants some damn attention. This person is craving my attention, and they feel like my reaction is going to somehow entertain their own boredom. Because deep down, some of these toxic people are bored as hell, and they just want to be entertained. I know I'm going in depth with this because I dealt with things like this in my life. I just know for a fact you are bored and you need to be entertained and you're looking for attention. That's all. That's all. Now I can respond with some slick shit, you know, of my own, because I can go there too. But nine times out of 10, I don't really need to. I don't need to entertain you at all. I don't need to respond. Sometimes the best response in the world is being silent. Silence is the best response. And it's more effective because, once again, it shows the person that is trying to test you that you are not fazed by their tactics. You are proving to them that they don't get to you like they think you like they think they do. You know, you're proving to them that you're not bothered by them. So over time, I have practiced to be unbothered by people. And then being on retention on top of that, you know, and then no fap on top of that as well, following the Most High, it's like I've almost mastered the skill of just being silent and just being unbothered by people's foolish tactics of trying to get to me and getting me bothered and trying to trigger me just for a reaction out of me. You know, when you think about it like that, bro, it's kind of pathetic. Like, people are going to try to test you just to get a reaction, and it's pathetic. It's really laughable because I have a choice, you know, and I choose to be silent. Because I know that's just gonna it's gonna really dig through your ego, and it's gonna completely just damage your ego and just, you know, destroy you deep down inside, because you thought if you say this to me, you were gonna get a reaction out of me, and it was gonna trigger me and get me all worked up. Nah, Nah, that's where you went wrong. Yeah, that's where you went wrong. Because you have that confidence, that overbearing confidence. You thought you were just gonna get me all worked up, and you had it all planned out in your head the entire time. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say this to him, and he's gonna get triggered, and you know, he's gonna start getting out of character, and yeah, I have control over him. I got power over him. Like, you know, you have to learn just not to say anything. You know, understand how these people work. You know, because I know how some of these people work. Because I had to deal with it at first. I had to deal with those mind games and those tactics from the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Almost like I read their mind in a sense. And it's like I know it's destroying their ego. You know, anything to like destroy their ego, bro, it just, that's icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know their ego is bothered. When they realize that you're unbothered, it bothers their ego.